let's talk about Dot Hack instead of Banjo-Kazooie.
Hell yeah, please.
But I do have to say thank you, Maddie, for my Banjo-Kazooie because it's great.
Hell yeah. Also, the other thing, if you notice, doesn't say 2020 on it.
It doesn't. I'm glad. I was afraid it was going to because
I wouldn't have bought it.
Pack-in receipt. The pack-in receipt said "Gamer for President 2020" pin, and I was like, I would have been like cute, and I still would have like it would not have bothered my appreciation of the gift whatsoever. But now I can just wear it every 4 years.
Exactly. Yeah, it's eternal. Yeah.
And now it's great. Yeah. Welcome to RPG Book Club LongCast, the podcast where we play a tiny bit of an extra long video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I am Maddie Grace Webben.
I'm David Bernard Houck.
There he goes.
And we are back at it again. You guys don't know this. With the pointy black metal boots.
Well, I actually couldn't remember what the actual joke was. It's like something about shoes. Back at it again.
Back at it at the Krispy Kreme?
No, we're back at it again with the red Tims.
That's what it is, with the red Tims. Oh, man. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Or is it the white Keds? I don't fucking know.
I think it's red Tims.
I don't even know what shoes are anymore. I never leave the house.
It's true. It's wild. I don't leave the house because it is a winter wonderland outside, and it's cool and weird. I'm not in Austin.
Oh, right.
I'm in... Yeah, it's
right.
winter wonderland in Austin, and that's weird. It's already over. It's already 80 degrees again. Texas is broken. But here in Wisconsin, we are in the middle of basically a week's long worth of snow right now, which is just cool. Love that shit.
Yeah, Texas.
I miss snow.
What we got in Austin was great because it was sort of like it wasn't much, but it was like real snow. It wasn't just like a gross brown slush. It was like some real ass snow.
Yeah.
But it was gone within 2 days, so we didn't have to like deal with it.
Yep, it's best kind of snow. Yeah, I don't think I've seen snow since. I believe that it snowed in December of 2017 because I left at the end of December. So I think the last time I saw snow was 3 years ago.
I think it did because Scarlett was about 1, so we were just doing the podcast, and I remember being at that house where she turned 1 and watching it snow outside.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I remember it snowing in Austin, and I'm thinking it was that year, not the previous year, just because I'm thinking about like what I was doing at the time, right? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so it's been 3 whole years since I've literally seen snow, so slightly jealous.
Yeah, you should also be jealous because Summer just brought me a cake. She just made me a goddamn mug cake to eat during the podcast. So, yeah, that's great. Me and Maddie talked about our weeks on our main episode. Bernard, would you like to say anything before we get started with the episode proper?
No! Maddie Grace knows about my week, and she knows I don't want to talk about
Bernard's week is horseshit.
Cool. Some sort of good stuff happening. A lot of crazy stuff happening.
Awesome. So, yeah, I feel like starting a new game, we should introduce the game, but this game literally picks up seconds after last time's ended. So, let's just start, I guess, if that's cool with you guys.
All right.
Cool. So let's listen to the Breg Epina, not the Brigipona, as I thought it was going to be pronounced. I will never guess this Nordic pronunciations right in this game. But Breg Epina music, and then we'll talk about the plot. What happens in this game?
What happens is a white void littered with books. A figure in a rocking chair. The figure sits on a platform floating above I was trying to be all dramatic, but I flubbed it. Floating above a triad sign. Flubbing above a blyage blind. Another figure stands on the ground. He looks up and says, Aina. It's Ovan. They now stand in Hulgrand's cathedral together. Ovan's arms are normal. Aina asks Ovan if they can live together when she gets better. They can be together in real life just like they are in the world. Ovan says there used to be a goddess statue here. Aina says she'll ask the goddess to heal her and asks Ovan what the goddess's name is. Ovan says the goddess's name is ... Volume 3, Redemption. Is the title card that appears. He doesn't say it. How great would it be if he did say?
It's pretty funny.
The goddess's name is Volume 3 Redemption.
And the goddess's name truly was a Shawshank Redemption.
Back in the void, Ovan stands with his arm caged. He says, Aura, ... the key of twilight, ... the ultimate AI, ... Morgana Factor, ... and Harold Hurick, ...
Which,
he asks,
just to make sure I'm not just forgetting things, that's a new name, right?
Pretty sure Harold Hurick is a new name.
I think it's a new name.
So that's right, folks. We are about 3 minutes into this game, and there's been maybe 3 new characters? Aina,
if we count the goddess.
Keurig, and the unknown goddess that is presumably important.
Yeah. Ovan asks what song they shall play today to awaken the sleeping beauty Aina. As powerful as it was, the Avatar's data drain could not take Ida from her. Her wound was too deep, and the treatment too late. Ovan doubles over. Ida bubbles surround him. Someone else seems to be trying to take over his body. He yells at that someone to shut up and keep their filthy hands off Aina. That someone says, "That's right. I'm the one who made your sister a lost one." Ovan says, "Be still a little longer. Haseo, there's no more time. I am ... Ida will ... the epitaph of twilight ...
Volume 3, Redemption.
Haseo stands over the sign in the area where they defeated Sakaki. He wonders if Ovan has been using him since they first met. He wonders what Ovan truly wants from him. He yells that he won't run from all this, that he'll finish this once and for all. In the Serpent of Lore, Yatta wonders why Ovan would refuse help from him and CC Corp if Ida was inside him. Why would he place the world in such danger? Ida has probably already spread to the outside world. It could control the entire population like they were a cult. An alarm sounds. A voice says Yatta's access to the Serpent of Lore has been terminated. 4 of those pointy cloak dudes appear around Yatta.
Hell yes, hell yes, hell yes.
Yatta's getting owned. Haseo receives several emails. CC Corp says he can now travel to the town of Breg Epina and has access to the Advanced Guild at home there. Adelie says that because of what happened, Moontree has ceased activities. Many members have left, and they've had their guild privileges revoked. She says Moontree is where she found her reason to live, and that she feels like her heart has gone empty. She wonders if she'll ever see Mellow Grunty again. An anonymous sender tells Haseo to think of them as an unseen ally. They say that they're impressed by the power of the Avatar in Haseo's PC, and that they've modified Haseo's Divine Awakening so that he can now perform Avatar Awakening, which he can use to obtain virus cores from normal monsters. Another email from this anonymous ally says the virus cores can be used to grow the power of the lost weapons. So it's sort of like when you forget an attachment, it's just like forgetting to actually say what virus cores do.
So my favorite thing about this game's like email system is it's smart. and like it's aware of itself and its limitations. So the emails are in reverse sort, like they are in an actual email thing, but they know that you're in a game and you're not going to read from the bottom up. So many times, like this guy did it, where you look at that one of them, he's like, "Hey, did you read my other email? To know what I'm talking about? Because blah 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 blah." Because
wait, yeah, y'all haven't been reading them bottom up all the time.
I always read them bottom up.
Come on, Sam.
I don't.
You know, I did notice something a little bit later in the game. Something happens that I won't go into because Bernard will get into it. But it did make me realize one thing that's unrealistic about this is that this game vastly overestimates the reliability with which people read their fucking email.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, come on, like if this game is more realistic, you'd send someone an email and a week later they'd be like, sorry, just seeing this. Or they would just never respond.
Mm-hmm.
Like Haseo does. You get to respond to like 2 emails.
That's true. Haseo never responds to the emails, although they never seem very actionable. But yeah.
Yeah. After we check our email, Haseo heads to the at-home in Breg Epina on the Sigma server. Death Grunty says Haseo is late, even though an appointment was not set. He says Moontree's Grunty, Mellow Grunty, has gone missing and Haseo needs to search for him. Haseo's like, it's just an NPC, who gives a fuck? But Adelie fucking ovons in out of nowhere and says, let's go find Mellow Grunty. Haseo agrees to it, naturally. Death Grunty says Mellow Grunty left a message saying that he's at Sigma Universal Ocean's Glide, but do not come looking for him. Syllabus is like, I want to come too, so you'll have a party of 3. Cool. The party goes and finds Mellow Grunty. It's all very silly. Haseo gets some emails. His unseen ally tells him how to upgrade lost weapons. Pi says there's an emergency and to meet up at Raven's at-home. The Epitaph users gather, and Pi explains that Yatta has gone missing and isn't responding to emails. The group hears the Serpent of Lore start up, so they head back there, but the one using it is Sakaki. God damn it. Sakaki looks all freaky and has Ida shit coming off him. He's like, I surpassed the system. He summons Yatta's character, collapsed on the ground. He says the most amazing line in JRPG history. Quote, away from keyboard, as they say. He's left the keyboard for all eternity.
It was a very good line.
So good.
Sakaki, Sakaki, you know how there's like you love someone or you hate someone or like you love to hate him? Sakaki's not love to hate him. He just sucks. I don't like anything about him. He's fucking stupid. And he's not even bad in a charming and enjoyable way. But I love that about him. So I love to not love to hate him.
Yes.
It's remarkable how he just sucks.
Yes.
I was just going to say, like, from the beginning, he's always sucked. And
here it is. I don't hate him because hate implies that he, like, has a force behind him to hate. He's not love to hate. He's love to be annoyed and disappointed by.
Yes.
Like children.
Yes.
Yes.
Sakaki says Yatta left the game as soon as he lost his GU admin privileges. He calls Yatta stupid and beats up his immobile character for a while.
Yep.
Sakaki says if Haseo defies him, he won't be able to save Shino. Actions against him will be seen as actions against CC Corp. Sakaki has signed a contract with them and succeeded Yatta as GU's administrator. He says CC Corp just wants to ensure the world runs stably and profitably so they can overlook some sacrifices. He orders Pi, Kun, and Haseo to swear allegiance to him and work to fulfill his ideals. They refuse and everyone leaves. Sakaki says some villain shit and does a villain laugh. Pi emails... Yes. Pi emails Haseo to say she confirmed with CC Corp that Sakaki is now in charge of Project GU. She says that she'll look for more information and warns Haseo that Sakaki will be monitoring them through the Serpent of Lore. Syllabus and Gaspar want to do a quest with Haseo. We do that. Pi emails us and says that CC Corp has decided it can't eradicate Ida, so they're depending on Sakaki, who says he can control it. The world is now Sakaki's, to do with as he wishes. Pi asks us to bring her and our lady friend to Theta Hidden Forbidden Hades, where we can hopefully talk without Sakaki noticing. The three meet. Pi installs a program on their PCs and says she's going to do area hacking. The UI says area hacking is an illegal means of transportation which allows you to enter areas normally inaccessible. We use area hacking to warp to a weird Tron-looking place called an outer dungeon.
But hacking, that's illegal.
I know.
We're the bad guys now.
You're very illegal in this game. This game's just the level of illegality is just through the roof.
But as we soon will find out, murder is legal.
Exactly. Crimes are actually legal now, so it's not crimes. In fact, cops are illegal now.
Yes. Good.
Actually, Moontree Guild did get disbanded. So yeah, cops are illegal and crimes are legal.
Narcs are at least illegal.
That's true.
We use area hacking to warp to the Tron-looking place. Yeah, I said that. Pi says outer dungeons are a byproduct of Ida's corrosion of the world. So the three meet up with the other Epitaph users. Pi says Yata said that someone was pulling Sakaki's strings. Haseo remembers Ovan saying he's the one who gave Sakaki Ida. I appreciate this because I didn't remember it.
I did not remember that at all.
Wait, what is it that you cut out for a second?
Haseo remembers Ovan saying that he's the one who gave Sakaki Ida.
Oh, I didn't forget that. I was like, cool. It's a reminder of that thing that happened that I'm aware of. I don't know what y'all's deal is. R.I.P. to y'all, but I'm different.
Pi says she's going to search for Yata in the real world. Everyone states their intentions, which is pretty much what they always were. Haseo says he's not going to run away from the world. He's going to see this through to the end. Everyone disperses. Haseo logs out and checks his email. CC Corp announces the Sage Palace tournament, which will be a PK-only tournament. Additionally, Lumina Cloth and Breg Epina are now PK zones?
Crimes are legal.
As someone who has worked in moderation of a massively multiplayer online game, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
CC Corp relays the following message from Taiaku, the Sage Palace Emperor. To all players, I, the greatest Sage Palace Emperor, hereby declare this PK tournament commenced. Let the weak bow before my blade and beg mercy. Let the fools gather in the arena. There I will send you to the true death. Sage Palace Emperor, Taiaku.
That's pretty good.
I don't know what his voice sounds like. I forget.
It's pretty close.
Oh gosh, my notes. Haseo receives an email from Sirius asking to meet in Lumina Cloth. He wants to discuss something about the PK tournament. Haseo logs in and immediately sees someone get PK'd in Lumina Cloth. Sirius shows up and says Taiaku organized the tournament. Haseo and Sirius go to the arena to watch a title match. Sirius says that they're planning to give a large sum of cash to the winner of the tournament. Taiaku fights a party of 3 in the title match, alone. He dodges attacks easily and blocks a spell with his sword. Sirius says Taiaku's weapon, the magic sword Maxwell, renders all spells ineffective. Taiaku does a special attack to wipe out his...
Which is really going to be a big problem considering, how often we cast spells in this game.
Yep.
Well, if we take Gaspard in, he won't be so effective.
I will simply hit him with my sword.
Yeah. The very first thing I did in this game, because I was low on healing items because the fight with Sakaki was really hard last game, as you remember, and I imported my save. I talked to some random NPCs in town, sold them every single spell that I own, and to rack up a whole bunch of high-level healing items. So I have 0 spells, so it does not bother me at all.
Mm-hmm. So Taiku does a special attack to wipe out his opponents, and wouldn't you know it, Ida bubbles swarm around him. Because there's only one thing that happens in these games.
Yep.
And it's Ida. Sirius speculates that Taiku is the same as he was. Taiku holds his sword in the air, and a huge cloud of Ida bubbles forms around it, yelling, "Feed me, Haseo!" It seems Ida is in the sword's data.
Yeah, this part was really cool for me specifically because I just finished reading Brandon Sanderson's Rhythm of War, and one of the cool characters there, Zeth, he has gotten a sword that's sentient, and that sword leaks black smoke if he ever unsheathes it, and is constantly saying, "Feed me, open me up, I want to eat." And this was exactly what was happening on screen, and so nice. I have some fan fictions to start writing.
Yeah, that and is exactly the same thing, actually.
Also, this is new. I will say, when the sword blobs come out and Ida turns into like a giant, dark, smoky, fucked up like face, that's the first time that's ever happened. We've never had Ida be a embodied creature before. It's always just been weird blobs. So it's like a very distinct escalation from the previous games, right? Which everything in this game is a pretty severe escalation from, I don't know, 12 hours ago in narrative time.
Yeah. After the title match, Haseo and Sirius talk about how Haseo has changed. Haseo vows to save Alkaid and Taiku, then logs out and checks his email. Sakaki has emailed him. Sakaki says, "How are you doing, Terror of Death? I suppose you must be getting bored now that GU is no longer active. Let me give you an invitation then. I've got a special seating group ready for you at the Sage Palace tournament. Doesn't that sound like a good way to pass the time? Shall we make a bet, Terror of Death? If you are defeated in this tournament, pledge your allegiance to me. If you win, well, there's not the slightest possibility of that, so I suppose we needn't even think of anything. If you don't wish to participate in the tournament, there's no need. However, if you don't, I'll scatter Ida particles throughout the world. I wonder just how many people would become lost ones."
My favorite thing about that voice
extremely
is,
good.
and like, you know, it like you'll hear casting and you'll be like, oh, that person doesn't look anything like the character, but they speak to the soul of that character, so it's really good casting. That was your voice right now for Sakaki, because Sakaki's voice is real deep guy that's in every anime voice. If you gave him some punk ass Gary Oak voice, and it's perfect,
which is much more fitting because he is a stupid little bitch.
Oh, it's so good.
We also get an email from Syllabus saying it's time for a regular Canard Guild meeting, like we always have. And Adelie's going to be there because she's totally a member of Canard. Is she actually? I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure she's not.
I think she actually
I think she is.
I think she joined.
I think she joined way back in Volume 1, like right at the beginning.
Wait, that means she was dual carding. Come on.
Yeah, she said that you could... Like you can dual card in this game. That guilds are like not just a single thing like they are in MMOs and
even though she repeatedly stated that Moontree was her life and she owed it her undying affection. And look where that got her. See, folks, that's why if you're in an organization, you need to pass a resolution banning anyone from being a member who is also a member of another democratically centralist organization. Also Catholics. They're subject to the Pope. Anyway, I'm just saying, if any Catholics show up in this game, they shouldn't join the name of the guild that I already forgot the name of because it's fucking stupid.
Well, what are the chances of Catholics showing up in a JRPG?
It never happens.
Go on.
Catholics in JRPGs are like Nazis in Western shooters. Like, they're just always the bad guy.
It's true. Maybe Moontree are kind of like the Catholics.
Maybe so.
This series.
Kun emails to invite Haseo to another meeting. Haseo, Pai, Kun, and Atali gather in the outer dungeon, but Sakubo and Indrance don't show up. Pi seems really tired and out of sorts. Kuhn says it's strange that no one's complained about the new rules. Perhaps they're scared to do so.
Also, what the hell is he talking about? Does he not read the forums? Because if you read the forums, every single person on the forum is like, oh, I guess I'm going to stop playing the world then because this is not what I want to do. And everyone is complaining about the new rules.
Well, then maybe only the ones who stayed are the ones who are chill with it. Also, I didn't read the forums.
I was wondering if maybe he meant like people who work at CC Corp, like everyone like who actually works for CC Corp. No one is saying, oh, this is a bad idea. But I think I'm meeting him halfway there.
Yeah.
Or they just never read the forums. The characters, I mean.
Yeah, maybe so.
I wouldn't blame them. Kuhn also says that the world may slowly be becoming an IDA server. Then the meeting ends. It took like a minute.
Yeah, and it was so weird because like A, it could have been an email. B, most of it was said in an email from Kuhn, so much that I thought he was like, oh, here's what I'm going to say when we're going to go meet Pi, who has other things to say. And she literally says nothing. And I was so confused. I'm like, why did she call us here to not say a damn word? But he called the meeting, but then he was with us the whole time. It just,
I will say, they do actually, I think, pretty clearly address this, except they also do it in a stupid, inconsistent way. The point they said in the previous scene in the outer dungeon is you talk in the outer dungeon so that they can't listen in on you in the Serpent of Lore. That's the point. So actually makes perfect sense. Hey, I got something I got to talk with you about. It's not much, but we do in fact have to go through an entire dungeon to get to our little secret spot. Now, why they can't just chat at the entrance to the outer dungeon is beyond me. However, I think they forgot that they had already given that explanation, because first of all, when they're like, when you get to the meeting, they're like, where's so-and-so and so-and-so? And they're like, I'll send an email. Oh, they're not responding. And then they're literally like, okay, we'll send them an email later with like the bullet points, with the minutes from our meeting, which is like, wait, why are you meeting in safety here if you're just going to email them later? And then secondly, yes, they also are and when they leave, they are like, hey, if we need to talk again, we'll come here and meet again. Send me an email if you need to meet up. So again, they're acknowledging that this is a safe place where the Serpent of Lore cannot reach, but also they're always saying sensitive shit over email. So they have really, really bad infosec, and also the writers just are constantly forgetting that this is a thing.
Also, I mean, even with all that, the content of this meeting was not particularly revelatory or actionable.
Yes,
I think Kuhn should have waited until he had more information to give us before bothering us.
That is true. Also, you know what? I've got a better idea. Why don't all these fucking people just get each other's phone numbers, for Christ's sake? Get on a Discord server. Make another forum. Just use your email, just not your game email. Just have a mailing list. Have a list serve. This is the year 2000 and X, okay? You can probably figure out how to make a list serve. There are other things that aren't playing the work. There are other things that exist.
Yeah, I also wonder why they don't like it, because if they need like the real-time communication, because as we learned from Francesco, I think off mic, where they speak and it get like you speak and it goes into text, and that then gets spoken by your character or whatever the fuck. So it's like a IMVU esque like real-time chat. So if they needed to do that, and so email or whatever wasn't very good, play person or Johnny McBro shoot 'em up RPG or whatever the fuck, the other MMOs that are all over the forums that people are constantly playing. Like, there are places to go and things to do that are not just hack into the mainframe of the world so that you can have a conversation.
Also, like, I don't know, at this point these people know each other pretty well. They're probably fond of each other. They're probably like friends. Japan is not that big of a place, and they have great transit. So
I mean, Japan's like as big as California, at least.
Yeah, but they also have great transit. So I don't know where these people live, right? But like maybe if two of them live in the same area, they could get coffee.
Yeah.
They need to fucking go outside, is what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is that dungeon is way too long for us to have to do it twice with no changes.
It's quite silly.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Japan and California are about equal sizes.
They're the same shape.
It's pretty similar, yeah. Although, I mean, it's certainly not evenly populated. That's for sure.
Yes. Pai emails Saseo to tell him to enter the tournament to buy them time before Sakaki disperses Ida particles into the world. While he fights, she'll search for Yata. So the plot's going to happen off screen.
Yep. Japan is 93.57% the size of California.
There we go.
Pretty close.
That's pretty darn close.
It's thinner, but it's also taller.
Yes. It's hard to know because it turns out every map is fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Even ones that try really hard to not be bullshit are
Although
actually
I will
bullshit.
say, Japan and California are at very, very, very similar latitudes. So actually, you can kind of just look at them on the map.
That's true.
Because, it's only looking at things that are higher up or lower down. For example, I had just recently realized how fucking huge Africa is. Like,
it's pretty big.
I know you think it's big looking at it normal style, but with more proper, if you're doing more proper evenly sizes and with your projections, it's just significantly bigger than I had even previously saw in my brain. And I was just like, holy shit, goodness gracious.
There's a website, I forget what it is, but it takes the common projection, I forget what it's called, that everybody uses.
Mercator.
And you can, so you can grab a country and drag it around and it'll resize it to the same projection.
That's a cute idea.
So you can see how big things are, and it's nuts to see.
That's fun.
I will say, if you're doing an online digital interactive experience, you could just do a 3D globe. Which
I mean,
yes, but
they're going after going things in a different way. This is to show you that maps are bullshit, not to show you an accurate representation.
Not to so that you can. I get you. It's just the idea. Yeah. But I'm realizing because the thing is you think of Africa and South America as being similarly sized, but South America is significantly farther from the equator than Africa. So huge size difference there.
It is called thetruesizeof.com, and
cool.
The entire United States only goes from the western coast over to Libya. There is still whole Egypt and Sudan and Ethiopia and Saudi Arabia.
It's fucking wild.
More than the United States wide, which is crazy.
It's really,
this has been
weird.
Mapcast.
Hell yeah.
Where we talk about map projections.
Bitch, don't even get me started because I will talk about map projections. We could do a Mapcast.
So Haseo signs up for the tournament. Matsu and Antares show up and are like, hey, we're in the tournament too. Remember us? And I'm like, yeah, I remember you. Haseo is pissed off at how casual they are about this fucked up tournament, and I'm like, this might be the first time he's pissed off at his friends for legitimate reasons. Anyway, those two run off, and Gabby shows up, and I pump my fist and holler because Gabby shows up.
Hell yeah,
Gabby.
And promises to be showing up more in the future.
Yeah, he's entering the tournament too. Then two randos show up, and Haseo recognizes them. I think he recognizes them as the people who PK'd him in Volume 1. The flashback is kind of quick, so I wasn't sure.
Yes, and Lord knows I don't remember, but yes, I think that's the idea.
Yes, so basically everyone is in this tournament.
The gang's all here.
So anyway, everyone else leaves, and Haseo gets a short mail from Syllabus. He says Gaspard is in trouble. Oh no! We'll help him next week. He can wait.
That's funny. That is it for the week. Good job blasting through that, Bernard. The pre-tournament stuff in this game was less than last game.
Fun fact. I posted in the host Discord, so where are we stopping? And Sam was like, go to the tournament.
Yeah, I was just being silly because that's what it's been the last 2 games, and it turned out to be a decent chunk for this game too.
Yeah, so literally the plan was just go until you get into the tournament, and we hadn't even looked at a guide or anything to see how much that would be.
We just assumed it probably had about the same structure as the previous game, so it's like, fuck it, just play the goddamn game until you do a stupid tournament. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that does remind me that I need to figure out where we are stopping.
Oh yeah, good point.
But for now, let us listen to some music. There was some music I kept hearing, and I'm like, this is a great track. And I don't know if I've used it before.
I think we've probably already used it, but the area we have to go to in order to do the hacking, that's really good music.
It is.
Yeah. So we'll listen to that, and then we will talk about our memorable moments.
Start with some of mine.
All right.
A couple of mine. So first of all, when you're in your at home in an early conversation, I forget, it might be the first scene in the at home in the game. You have that thing where you walk in and Syllabus and Gaspard are there, and you're like talking, and they do a very common trope, and they don't even do it well at all, but I still found it very cute for its crudeness, where you're talking, and then someone says something about Adelie, and then Adelie's voice is like blah blah blah, and the camera pans over, and you're like, Adelie, you're here, and she's like, I've literally been here the entire time, and that's just always funny. It's always a good trope. Secondly, during that extremely stupid filler quest where we have to find the goddamn, what are they called?
Heck hounds.
Grunty.
Heatwave. Oh wait, no.
We gotta find the goddamn Grunty. When we finally, basically, we're chasing him, and while we're chasing him, we get lots and lots of messages, and all the messages are just like, "I'm so alone. Nobody care me. Please, definitely." Just fishing for help, right? You finally find him, and he's being extremely emo. And in addition to other things he says, he's like, blah, 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 I'm going to cry a whole bunch, and eventually I'll drown in a river of my tears without anybody caring or even noticing. He's just a very dramatic little fucking bitch. Let's see. In addition, I don't know why I screenshotted that. It's not really that good. Away from the keyboard is real good. I don't know where I was going with this. Anyway, finally, when you're talking with your friends, and they're all like, after you find out that there's PKing happening and shit like that, and they're bitching about it, they're talking about how it's not fun at all, right? Because as we know, Syllabus and Gaspard, especially Gaspard, have a really big thing about, we just want to have fun with our friends and good happy feelings and blah blah blah. We don't like them. People are mean to us. They're pussies, right? So basically, Gaspard is saying, like, who's the genius to introduce this system? And who's it supposed to be fun for? And of course, my first thought is, I don't know, all the PKers seem to be having a good time. And I know, Sam, it's a terrible idea, but basically they start crying, and they're literally like, we're not going to get to have fun anymore. We don't want to play this game anymore. It's not fun. And then Haseo does that whole anime thing where he has this little internal monologue where he's like, I've got to do this. I care so much about my friends. I've got to stop the bad guy whose name I already forgot. And to me, it's just like, I don't know. There's an evil virus that's going to control the entire world and turn everyone into a cult. And here Haseo is, and he's like, the biggest problem is that my friends can't have fun playing this online video game.
Yeah.
Which, on one hand, is very sweet. It shows his growth from the previous. Oh, yeah, he's just completely stopped being a shitty jerk at this point. I mean, he's still blunt in the way that he talks, but, like, he's 100% cross-line into, like, I fight for my friends, which is cute.
Mm-hmm.
Can't Syllabus and Gaspard go hang out in Doldana? It said only Lumina Cloth and Breg Epina are PK zones.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
But
I mean,
maybe,
I get Breg Epina
Gaspard's
is their guild home, though.
Yeah, and Gaspard's whole thing is running his little guild shop, and maybe you only can run guild shop in the marketplace outside of your at-home or something.
I guess.
Also, another one, after you finish talking with, who's the guy who's like your mentor guy? Antares. After you talk to Antares and he says that he's going to be in the tournament as well, Haseo is like, all right, I got to get going. And Antares goes, me too. I've got to go and polish my rusty sword. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to tell us you're going to go fucking jerk off. Like, just,
that was one of mine too. It was so fucking
just
funny.
do it. You don't have to tell us. And then finally, I do think that Haseo's bluntness continues to show up, which is quite funny when he very early in the game, Adelie sends her email where it's like Sam was, or like Bernard was saying, like, oh, Moontree is my life, I'm so sad. And at first, Haseo, he has a little internal monologue, and Haseo is like, oh, Adelie, it's so, it sucks so much for you, I feel so sorry for you. But then he goes, don't get lost in your own difficulties. Your problems are also or rather, all of our problems. Which, like, I get what he's saying, but it sounds like he's like, this sucks for you, but also, what about me? And there's another part that I didn't screenshot where he said something a little more explicitly that way, where he's like, no, the problem with your problem is that it affects us instead of like, we're here for you. Right? It's cute. But he's honest. Like, he's not gonna lie and be like, this isn't fucking annoying to me, because it is fucking annoying to him. But also, he does care. Anyway. Yeah. Haseo is sweet, and honestly, Yuri Lowenthal's given a fucking great performance.
Yuri Lowenthal's great.
Yep, that's it for me.
I have a couple, but I also have a sneeze.
Nice.
And it's gone. So, as you remember from my talk about the lore of this game last time, there's a rumor gatherer character on the forums named Nuada. And last game, there's the whole game you could like run into him. He would just be somebody being like, oh, this is so interesting, I have to write it down. You'd see like the thought bubble above his head and you could run into him in game. Well, this game, he has some forum related quests where somebody will say something like, hey, come and meet me at such and such place, and if you go there, those two characters are talking, and then you can talk to Nuada, and that in itself would be really cool. But Nuada's new rumors that he's chasing are about player characters that belong to people who are in comas, but they're still being played as if they are player characters. And he says that those people are AIs, or people who are sucked into the world, and they live like any other PC in a place called Paradise. PCs from Paradise don't usually step outside of Paradise, but when they get bored, they'll come to the underworld for entertainment, to observe people like you who have a real life, and to hope that they too can have a life like yours. They are envious of people like you. They can't help but want the things that you have. So that's why they're watching your every move, acting like a normal PC. But there's no need to worry. It's only a rumor.
Oh.
And that's really fucking interesting. And like, I'm probably going to, instead of us doing a final lore thing, I probably am now going to read the forums and keep you updated on this AI bullshit that's apparently happening in the background.
Just a lot there.
That's a lot. It's real cool.
I feel like when Dragon Ball Super was like, hey, you know how this manga / anime has been around for literal decades? What if there were now 7 dimensions?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Another great one is Gaspard on the quest that's not important. He's so the quest is you're searching for this invisible dog, and Gaspard is like, it's not here, and he turns around and of course it's right behind him, and he's like, and even if there were something dark and creepy lurking around here, I am an experienced high level warlock. I'm not afraid of any monster. And I'm like, that is exactly what like WoW braggarts of circa 2009 talked like, and it made me really happy. My last one is another weird thing making me want to read the forums of this game. So this was in the thread about the Sage Palace opening back up, and a character named Fukujin Suke says, looks like another stupid CC Corp update. Wasn't the tournament started to restrict PKing? Good job ruining that completely. Seriously, what is CC Corp thinking? Their minds must be that of 10-year-olds. This is why Ihara's what are you keyboard smashing. And that's the post.
Did they actually type out, wait, what are you doing?
Yes, this is why Ihara's ... what are you keyboard smashing.
I guess they were using speech.
They were using
text.
text to speech. Otherwise, that would be stupid and make no sense.
Yeah. Apparently, speech to text and then text to speech on the other side of it is the main way of communication in this world. And it solves a lot of the weird questions we had when we're like, why are you saying this in your outside voice? And it's still dumb, but at least has an excuse now.
This game really
it's
is
not
so
as silly as Gaspard being like, I felt something when the thing zooms behind him. I'm like, no, you didn't. You can't feel things.
Unless they're devices. But yeah, it's probably not. That's not a Sega Dreamcast, so.
But those are all the ones that I had from this week. What did you have, Bernard?
I didn't have much that I didn't incorporate into my notes because everything I find funny, I tend to put into my notes. Yeah. But I don't talk to other players much in this game, but I did randomly talk to one, and it turns out, I talked to him, and he was just like, I'm busy stalking Master Gabi. And he just kept going on about how great Gabi is and how hot and wonderful and amazing Gabi is. And I was
That's great.
I get you.
Yeah, in the first game,
right
a lot of the
you.
NPC dialogue.
Here's my short mail. We can be friends.
Yeah, in the first game, a lot of the NPC dialogue was actually rather interesting, and I enjoyed it. But there's a shit ton of NPCs, and they're always running through the levels. They don't like sit in one fucking place, so you can't keep track of like who you have and haven't talked to. So by the end of the first game, I stopped doing that.
There was also, in one of Pai's emails, at the end she says, all the emails I'm going to send you are going to be encrypted so that Sakaki can't track it. I doubt you know how to do anything like that, though, so just be careful what you say over email.
I
found that funny.
That was very funny, yes.
That's all I have.
It's good when people don't assume, you know? It's good when people are like real about their assessment of your ability to handle things.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to mention was the online Jack episode. Did you guys watch it yet?
Oh, I forgot to check for one.
Yeah, I didn't do anything outside the game.
Okay, so we'll watch it for next time because
I'll do it next time.
I'll definitely be keeping up with the forums as they go because they're weird and cool this time. So we'll talk about online jacks as they come out. There's usually only 4 per game, and we have like 6 episodes, so we probably have time to catch up.
Hell yeah!
But speaking of number of episodes, we will be stopping after the title match again because that's been episodes 1 and 2 of every season so far.
Sounds great.
We'll be stopping after the title match that judging by this little guide right here is a way better title match than all of the other ones that we've had so far. So we are going to finish up the title match. We will win 600 WP, Arath Dakini, and genome data IDA 041, and we will be called over to Ravens at home. We will save before we reach Ravens at home, but it's after the title match. There are some more things that happen after the title match that we are also doing. It will be at the end when you get the goods. I think genome data IDA 041 will be the one that like sticks in your mind the most.
Gotcha.
All right. So without further ado, I have been Sam Allman.
Oh, right.
I'm David Bernard Hauk, and I love my Catholic friends.
I'm Matty Goetweben, and I not only love my Catholic friends, but just, maybe, who knows? I'm working stuff out. You know what I mean? Okay, goodbye.
Bye. Also check us out at www.rpgbook.club. I forgot to say all of that shit. Bye.
Bye.
Act now before I become a dirty papist.
Is Biden a gamer?
Absolutely not. No, he's a gamer. He loves to go and play. He loves to go and play down at the penny arcade on the pier. He loves to play pinball and throw in rings and crackerjack, ball toss.